In pop music, some hits become timeless, while others come and go. In this video, we look at 10 hit singles that age like milk. Blurred Lines by Robin Thicke. When Blurred Lines dropped in 2013, it became unstoppable. The song, featuring Pharrell Williams and T.I., topped the Billboard Hot 100 for 12 weeks, dominated radio, and became one of the biggest hits of the decade. But while the infectious beats and Marvin Gaye-inspired production made it a certified smash, the lyrics quickly sparked backlash. It was widely criticized for being kind of rapey, especially at a time when conversations about sexual misconduct were all over the news. The music video, which featured half-naked models dancing around, only made matters worse. Many saw it as objectifying women, and the uncensored version of the videos, with all the models completely nude, was even banned on YouTube. Universities across the UK outright banned the song from being played at student events. The controversy only escalated when Robin Thicke defended the song aggressively, doubling down instead of acknowledging the criticism. Adding to the downfall of Blurred Lines was the 2018 lawsuit from Marvin Gaye's estate, which ruled that the song had plagiarized Got to Give It Up, resulting in a massive settlement against Robin Thicke and Pharrell. In hindsight, Blurred Lines went from a chart-topping hit to unlistenable in a matter of years. You're So Gay by Katy Perry. Before Katy Perry became a global superstar with I Kissed a Girl and Teenage Dream, she released You're So Gay as a promotional single from her debut album, meant to be a fun diss track to her ex, with lines like "So gay you don't even like boys," feels so 2000s. While she intended it as satire, the lyrics didn't age well because of their outdated and offensive use of stereotypes. The song equates being gay with being overly sensitive. At the time, the song didn't make much of a commercial impact, but did raise eyebrows. Even Madonna praised it in an interview, calling it brilliant, which only gave it more attention.
Well, I have a favorite song right now.
What's that?
It's called You're So Gay and You Don't Even Like Boys.
However, as LGBTQ+ representation in pop culture became more nuanced and inclusive, You're So Gay began to age terribly. What may have been brushed off as a joke in 2007 is now seen as problematic, so that led to the song aging like milk. Katy herself later distanced herself from the song, acknowledging that she wouldn't write something like that today. Girlfriend by Avril Lavigne. When Avril Lavigne dropped Girlfriend in 2007, it was an instant pop-punk anthem. The song was loud, bratty, and catchy, everything that made Avril a star in the early 2000s. It became her first Billboard Hot 100 #1 hit, and one of her most popular songs. It brought Avril back to the mainstream after a slightly darker phase. But listening to Girlfriend now, it hasn't aged well at all. The song feels way too immature, with its lyrics about stealing someone's boyfriend coming across more juvenile than empowering. Lines like "I don't like your girlfriend, I think you need a new one" sounded good at the time, but doesn't hold up decades later. The over-the-top production and yelling style vocals don't sound good to my ears now. While pop punk has made a comeback in recent years, Girlfriend aged like milk. What was once an anthem of teenage rebellion now sounds cheesy and way too repetitive. My First Kiss by 303 featuring Kesha. If there's any song that screams 2010 in the worst possible way, it's 303's My First Kiss featuring Kesha, who was scorching at the time. 303 was also riding high off the success of Don't Trust Me and their other collaboration with Kesha, Blah Blah Blah. Their brand of electropop was everywhere, and My First Kiss was going to keep the momentum going, filled with exaggerated kissing sounds. And the repetitive chorus was meant to be fun and playful. It even managed to crack the top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100. However, what worked in 2010 feels cringeworthy today. The goofy mwah sounds make the song unlistenable now. Kesha, who usually brought a sense of charm to her party anthems, feels strange on the song, and the production is stuck in that era. To make things worse, 303's entire bro party aesthetic aged terribly. While some early 2010s pop acts like Kesha herself have been able to rebrand and maintain the same cultural relevance, 303 faded quickly. As a result, My First Kiss feels like an embarrassing throwback to a time of neon tank tops and shutter shades. Single Ladies Put a Ring on It by Beyonce. There was no denying that Single Ladies was an absolute cultural phenomenon when it was released in 2008. The song's catchy hook and iconic music video turned it into one of Beyonce's most recognizable songs. It won the Grammy Song of the Year and spent 4 weeks on #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, cementing its place in pop history. However, as time passed, Single Ladies hasn't aged gracefully. The production, which felt like an earworm, now sounds irritating, especially when compared to the richer, more layered hits Beyonce has delivered over the years. While it remains a nostalgic club staple, it no longer has the relevance it once did. Compared to the timelessness of songs like Crazy in Love and Love on Top, Single Ladies doesn't quite hold up as well as many of Beyonce's other classics. Blame It by Jamie Foxx featuring T-Pain. At the peak of the late 2000s auto-tune era, Jamie Foxx, already an Oscar-winning actor, dropped music here and there, and this banger featuring T-Pain became one of his biggest hits. The song's hypnotic beat, catchy hook, and T-Pain's signature auto-tune made it an anthem, peaking at #2 on the Billboard Hot 100 and dominating radio. At the time, it was a perfect fit for the drinking party scene of the late 2000s. However, as the years passed, Blame It started to feel off. The entire song revolves around blaming alcohol for questionable decisions, which comes across as problematic. Lyrics like "Blame it on the goose, got you feeling loose" feel more like an excuse than a party anthem now. Add in the dated over auto-tune vocals, and the song is stuck in 2009. Jamie Foxx's music career never really took off after that, making Blame It feel more like a relic of a specific moment in time, rather than a lasting classic. #Selfie by the Chainsmokers. Before the Chainsmokers became one of the biggest acts in EDM, with songs like Closer and Something Just Like This, they were known for a gimmicky viral hit called #Selfie. Released in 2014, the song was an attempt to capitalize on the selfie craze that had taken over social media at the time. The song wasn't even a proper song, more of a talking monologue over a generic EDM beat, featuring a girl with an annoying Valley Girl accent, talking about taking a selfie. It didn't even last a year before it felt old. At the height of its popularity, #Selfie was played constantly in clubs, commercials, and social media videos. However, because it was built entirely on a fleeting trend, it aged horribly as soon as people moved on from the selfie obsession. What was once seen as fun and satirical now feels like an annoying relic of the early 2010s internet culture. Even the Chainsmokers distanced themselves from it, later admitting that they hated the song and didn't consider it a serious representation of their music. The song's legacy is more embarrassing than anything. It helped launch the Chainsmokers' career, but their eventual success came in spite of, rather than because of it. While people may still ironically revisit Selfie for nostalgia, it has no replay value beyond being a cringeworthy time capsule of 2014 internet culture. Hey Soul Sister by Train. Few songs from the late 2000s overstayed their welcome, like Train's Hey Soul Sister. When it was released in 2009, the song became a massive hit, topping charts worldwide and dominating radio well into the early 2010s. It peaked at #3 on the Billboard Hot 100 and was one of the biggest hits of that era. With its ukulele-driven production, it became a feel-good anthem. But when you really listen to it and realize it's about dating a black woman, Soul Sister, the title makes sense, and the lyrics become cringy. Like that line, "I'm so gangster, I'm so thug." Awkward. Hey Soul Sister is often mocked as one of the most annoying songs of its time. Despite its massive commercial success, it has not aged well, and its once charming folk pop sound now feels outdated. DOA Death of Auto-Tune by Jay-Z. When Jay-Z dropped Death of Auto-Tune in 2009, it was intended as a bold statement against the overwhelming use of auto-tune in rap. Produced by No ID, the song had a gritty, jazz-influenced beat and featured Jay delivering bars about bringing real rap back. At the time, auto-tune-heavy artists like T-Pain, Lil Wayne, and Kanye West, who had just released 808s and Heartbreak, were dominating the charts. The song declared the auto-tune era was finished, and it even won a Grammy for Best Rap Solo Performance. The problem? Auto-tune never died. In fact, it only got bigger. Instead of ending the trend, Jay-Z's DOA became a failed attempt. Artists like Future and Travis Scott then took auto-tune to new creative heights throughout the 2010s. Listening back, it's ironic that Jay-Z later worked with many artists who use auto-tune, making the song feel even more pointless. The song just doesn't slap like it did in 2009. What was once a defined anthem now feels like an old man complaining about new music. Rather than aging like fine wine, DOA has turned into an outdated statement. Bangarang by Skrillex. When Bangarang dropped in late 2011, Skrillex was at the peak of his influence, helping dubstep break into the mainstream. The song's chaotic, high-energy drops and screeching synths made it an anthem for electronic music fans at the time. It was everywhere, from festival stages to video game montages, and even earned Skrillex a Grammy for Best Dance Recording. However, over a decade later, Bangarang sounds more like a relic of the early 2010s dubstep craze rather than one of the biggest reasons that the track aged poorly is that dubstep has fallen out of the mainstream a long time ago. After that era died, so did the song's relevance. By the mid-2010s, EDM had moved towards a more melodic and house-influenced sound. Today, Bangarang feels more like a meme than a song you actively search for to listen to. Which hit songs that age like milk did I miss? Tell me in the comments below.